Hey, if you just want to see me talk about the hip check, make sure you go to this part in the video. So, given how intense and entertaining that Leafs versus Oilers game was last night, that matchup really seemed to captivate the hockey world. I wonder how many people, especially in comparison, were watching the Arizona-Calgary game, which was going on at the same time. And look, most of the time I'll come on here and say, hey, that game last night was so entertaining, so much fun. Let's be honest, that Leafs-Oilers game was much more entertaining than the Flames-Coyotes game. It definitely picked up in the third and overtime, but for the most of this thing, it was a beautifully executed 1-0 trap game by Arizona. And speaking of which, I want to give that team credit. I know Calgary won last night, but that Yotes team is good, and they've got a bright future. Connor Ingram leads the league in shutouts this year. He was awesome last night, and he has been all season. And even last year he was good. That was a great pickup by Arizona. Clayton Keller's just been doing Clayton Keller things offensively once again. That guy's just elite. Cooley and Gunther coming along nicely, especially Cooley. That kid's going to be just a star in this league. Dylan Gunther's progressing a little slower, but not every prospect develops at the rate of like a Connor Bedard. You can definitely see that he's learning the ropes at the NHL level and doing it well. And that decor is sneaky good, man, especially Sean Durzi. He's been great after coming over from LA in the offseason. Now, obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done there, which is why they're on the outside looking in of a playoff spot right now, but I like their foundation, and I didn't even mention André Tourigny. I think he's a really good coach. For the first goal of the game, Sean Durzi tickles the rafters on this slapper. Look how high his stick is there. That's like PK Subban-esque. I'm still trying to figure out if this hit anything on the way in, but it still seems like Vladar just kind of missed it. After that, like I said, Arizona was fiercely protecting that 1-0 lead, and nothing much of note happened until near the end of the second period. Pospisil, who's one of Calgary's speediest players, starts loading up down the left wing. He's caught Dumba a little bit flat-footed, but he cuts towards the boards. Dumba intelligently recognizes that as an opportunity and upends him with a beautifully executed old-school hip check. Man, it is so rare to see this in the NHL nowadays, especially perfectly clean like that. Obviously, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, so it's great that Pospisil popped right back up, but huge credit to Matt Dumba here. When you do it well like that, not only do you do exactly what a body check is supposed to do in hockey, which is separate the player from the puck and give your team possession of it, but it's also done safely enough. I mean, you can only be so safe when you're sending somebody head over heels, but it's done safely enough where the player doesn't get hurt. I loved it. What's the last big hip check you guys have seen in the NHL? The biggest one I can think of from recently was Radko Gudas on Kirby Dach a few years ago. That one was massive. It's pretty rare to see that in today's NHL, so even though I cheer for the Flames, that was pretty cool to see. Oh, actually, the biggest one I've seen was Dmitry Orlov on Matt Duchene. That one was next level. He was literally perpendicular with the ice. Back to the game. Now we're in the third period. Sean Durzi again. He banks it off Logan Cooley into the net to give the Yotes a 2-0 lead. At that point, with how tight a game Arizona had played and with how good Connor Ingram's been this year, even though the Flames have been comeback wizards this year, I really didn't have much hope of them coming back in this one. How naive of me. A few minutes later, Rasmus Andersson gets the puck along the boards, goes behind the goal line, and Dumba's cutting off his lane to go around the net. He slips it through Dumba's legs to who else? Blake Coleman, who's been all-star level for the Flames this year. Now we've got a one-goal game with 11 minutes left. Some things could happen here. And wouldn't you know it, a minute later, as soon as I saw Kadri wheeling from the neutral zone, even if he couldn't beat Cooley to that far post, all I was thinking was, Pospisil, please get it there. Just get it to the far post. And sure enough, with one hand, he slides it over to Kadri, who's able to put it in for the greasy tying goal. That's how good teams get back at a games, man. You got to be able to put the puck home in that area. And then with under 20 seconds left in overtime, this was an absolutely wicked shot by Yegor Sharangovich. For a goal scorer, other than when it goes bar down, is there anything more satisfying than when it goes in and out like that? Man, Sharangovich looks good with the Flames right now, and Conroy looks pretty smart making that trade. We talked about it last week, and if he keeps going like this, we might make a video talking about his shot and his goal scoring ability in greater detail. If that's something you want, as well as more Coyotes or Flames content, let me know by liking the video and commenting. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.